Okay, it's interesting in SketchUp. When I made the new flyer, I forgot to smooth it. So that's the version of SketchUp unsmoothed, and that's the version of it smooth. And I did put a little door here in the back of the flyer so that if you wanted to walk inside the flyer, we're going through the door. Then now you're inside the flyer. There's the you're headed for being in the area of the window, and we're inside this flyer. Here's the hole in the flyer where the person's head would stick out. So anyway, that's what. Okay, I realized this wasn't totally clear what I was trying to say. Here is the Amazon flyer that wasn't smoothed. And here's the one where we smoothed it out. But there's going to be a person. I've drawn in a little mannequin here, sitting at his or her desk with a monitor and a microphone and all that kind of stuff. But this is the mannequin representing a person who would be flying inside of this thing. And so that's some scale for you. And I've taken the mannequin, a copy, and put inside this flyer. So now, to see how it looks when you go through this doorway, you can go through the door and you're inside the flyer. Now you can see that this mannequin is above the floor. Here's the floor. Here's the wall of the flyer. There's the very nose part of the flyer right there. And here is this little guy or little person or inside of it flying it. And his or her head sticks up into the window area so they can see where they're going and see what they're supposed to see. That's the whole concept of Amazonburg, is that you would fly around in these things to look at Amazon products. So you can see that this person in this flyer is looking through this window here, out of his or her window, to see what's out there to be seen. And I think that makes it a little more clear. Now we're inside of it. Okay, so we were in the glass there for a minute, but now we're inside of it, and so you can see beyond the head of this little hi, how are you? You can see beyond the head of this little person who is looking out of their window to see what's there to be seen. What happened? I forgot to smooth it, and I realized if this was actually something in space, you would need these windows to be this way with this degree of solidity to it, and also this curve here is the curve of a cylinder, and that is optically easier. You see better through an optical curve. So let's go back over to KeyShot, and I imported them into KeyShot. This is the old flyer that I made, and here's this little guy, and of course this has a great this has a great look to that cockpit window. But I don't think in outer space or in space, I don't know, I don't think people would like it. It's very hard to make and unsafe. So I put some metal in there. This is the smoothed version, and I've drawn it showing the little mannequin in there. Let me rechange the camera pointing. So you can see that the little mannequin guy is in there. And there would be an elevation of the floor in there. And you can see that actually when I put him in there, I didn't, he's not rotated right. We'll turn him so he's where he's supposed to be. That looks better. And then I had a lot of interest in the idea that this was actually a thing for Amazon where, and you can see that it's rezzing up. I have the lighting on product. I prefer lighting on jewelry, but it just wipes out my ability to get any samples. And this is the environment. I have one camera. Here's a view over the shoulder. We'll get back to that guy in just a second. But this is the one that's been smoothed up. And of course he has his little door back here that he could go through to get in there if he wanted to. I don't know what it would be like to go through the door. I guess we'll see. I think we're, no, we went all the way through it. Now we're inside. There he is. This is a little hard to do. But anyway, there he is. And you can see the way that I designed this for Amazon was you would be flying around in these flyers. And you could go look at the product if you wanted to look at the product, or you could go look at these other people and see what they look like. So there's that other flyer over there, and he could look through there at it. I think that is so cool. All right, so here we're on number 2 samples, and weirdly enough, at least it seems like you get a prettier picture that's brighter anyway if you put it on product. So maybe that's where I'm supposed to be. But here's this little guy, and this little guy was flying around in his Amazon flyer to go look at this chair, which is over here. I'll show it to you in a minute. So he actually had come over here. And so we can go here and go to the scene, and we can hear the Amazon flyers. This is the new flyer that's been smoothed out, and we'll move it. So if he had wanted to, he could come over here and been looking at that product, that Amazon product. So here is his view of his flyer. With him inside of it, looking through it at the chair down there, because that's the Amazon Berg concept. You see now I'm only up to 3 samples. I don't have a very hot computer. And you can see otherwise, in addition, that he would notice that there's somebody else over here. In this he could look over his right shoulder and see. I think that's so cool. He could see this guy here. This guy here came over here to look at the chair too, but this guy is more interested in who's around him. And so he could be looking at the chair, and then he notices that there's another one over here, and of course I have set up a view over the shoulder of the mannequin. I don't know what's going to happen. Now, see, so here's this other guy. He's in the other flyer that hasn't been smoothed. And he came over here. He came over here to look down there at the chair too. But he got distracted and started looking over here at the other flyer. And anyway, you can see my resolution samples is 1, but enjoy, and that's just for you to. I think it's hard not to tell stories when you have something like this.